mean, there's ones that come out really look like before. Like, I don't ever want to get back there.
Okay. Now the smoker is lit. So I am going to start the inspection of this hive, and feel free if anybody has any questions about what's happening. Shoot. Oh. That's weird. This. No, I guess the inner cover decided to come with it. So, this is... Actually, let me smoke them first. So this is the cover of a beehive, and attached to it is the inner cover, which are usually two separate pieces, but is right now stuck together with probably some wax or propolis. And propolis is like a sap and wax mixture that they use to kind of seal any gaps. It's kind of like a glue type thing. So right now I'm going to pry apart the different frames with this tool called the hive tool, and that just kind of separates the propolis and things from the frame, so then I can pull it out and all the sticky things. But I just did this backwards.
How often do you get stung?
A lot. Yeah.
Doesn't seem to bother you anymore?
No, unless it gets me pretty good in the face, it doesn't tend to bother me too much. So this is mostly a nectar frame. So, or probably mostly honey at this point, but so yeah, there's all the glistening nectar that they've harvested. Yeah. So yeah, that's mostly nectar that's probably almost honey. So they'll bring it into the hive. Actually, I'll leave this guy out here. So they'll bring it into the hive at around like 70% water, or is nectar? Yeah, like 60% water. And then when it's finished honey, it's only 14 to 12%. So yeah, they drastically reduce the water content in it, and that makes it shelf stable. So this is more of a capped brood frame. So these are all baby bees, and they're all in those cells that are kind of bubbly that you see.
Is there royal jelly in there?
So there is not any royal jelly in those capped cells. I do see some uncapped open cells that probably have a little bit in there with the larva. You won't be able to see it on here, but you might be able to see some in there, but probably not royal jelly in most of there.
Is there any chance you will disturb the queen in this process?
Yeah, she will get a little disturbed, especially with the smoke. She'll smell it, and it can kind of cause her to scurry around. So yeah, she will get a little bit.
Settles down.
Yeah, after a little bit, yeah. Hopefully we'll find her, and I'll be able to show you. So this is another just brood frame, more capped brood. So again, the baby bees, and these guys will probably hatch in a few days to a week. So yeah, and then they'll all be workers that'll start their 4-week life. So yeah, workers only live 4 weeks. The queen can live, typically it's like, it has been like 2 to 4 years, but now it's mostly just like a year or two if you're lucky. So this one has a lot of larvae, so uncapped brood, wet brood, as we call it. You're probably not going to be able to see, but it's most of those empty cells have little wormy larvae in them. Let's give them a little smoke. Good. And this is another just capped frame. This one has a little bit of pollen in it too, and a teeny bit of nectar, but not much. It's mostly more just capped baby bees, brood.
Do they recognize your smell or no?
I think they can. I'm not sure that these ones necessarily do because these aren't my bees. But yeah, bees will remember shapes, scents, and different things. Yeah. So most of their communication is with scents and pheromones. Like they have an attack pheromone or a defensive, and that kind of is referred to as a banana smell. And that is not ideal when you smell it.
No, you're in trouble.
Yeah. No, you're probably getting stung. But yeah, so this is another just brood frame. This hive is pretty nice and packed with a bunch of brood. So yeah, the queen's been busy. Because the queen laid all of these eggs. They're all laid by the one queen in the hive. And she'll lay, it's like 2,000 eggs a day. So yeah, she is very busy. So yeah, this is another just brood frame. Very brood heavy. But no queen yet.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can the bees like disown a queen or like kick a queen out?
So they will kick a queen out, or most of the time they'll kill her, for a couple different reasons. One is that she's not laying well enough, so then they'll take one of her eggs or larva that's like less than 3 days old and turn it into another queen, typically more than one, and they'll supersede her and make another one. Or sometimes she'll just die off and they'll make another queen. But yeah, they will supersede her.
Which is more common, natural or superseding?
Natural as in like swarming, or
Natural as in she just dies of queen old age?
they do supersede. It kind of depends on the thing and the area. Most of the time, in my experience, she'll end up swarming out and then going somewhere else. So yeah, probably more natural, but they'll supersede a decent amount. In fact, last year in the observation hive, we got a video of a queen getting superseded here at the fair. So a new queen came in and stung the old queen. And that was kind of cool that somebody got it on video.
Can any of the females be queens?
So any of the eggs, when they're any fertile egg when it's laid, which are all of the female, can be a queen up to a certain point. After about 3 days after it hatches, it's too late because of what they're fed. So yeah, any fertile egg up to three days after it hatches can be a queen. And the workers decide, or the beekeeper decides, that they want to make queens, and then we can make an artificial setup to rear queens.
So what do the queens eat that are different than?
So the queens are only fed royal jelly when they want to like make them, whereas the normal bees are fed. The normal workers, which are all female, are only fed royal jelly for the first 3 days after they hatch, and then they're fed something called bee bread, which is a mixture of like pollen and nectar and some other enzymes. And that suppresses the reproductive organs of the normal workers. Whereas the queen is only fed royal jelly. Yeah. So this is a pretty empty frame. Now we're getting into the bottom box. So hopefully we'll see the queen sooner.
I know you're demonstrating for us, but do you rotate them regularly for a purpose?
Like as in inspect or rotate these bees out with another hive. So these bees are going to be here the entire fair. And then they'll go back to their apiary. Yeah.
Oh, maybe a little too close there.
Yeah.
You don't want to get
So this one is mostly an undrawn frame, so we use something called plastic foundation a decent amount of the time. And that is kind of just to give some extra stability. So that's what that black stuff is. And it also comes in like yellow. It's typically just yellow and black. Sometimes it's also like green for like drone cells, and drones are the male bees. But yeah.
What's the ratio between a worker and a drone?
So in normal hive or in Langstroth hives, like ones that we're keeping, it's very little, like it's 90 to 10 or 90. It's probably closer to 95 to 5%. But that's only seasonal. Like they only keep them in the summer and spring, or spring and summer. Yeah, the drones. They only keep them then. Whereas in a wild hive where they're drawing their own comb how they want and not being guided by a frame, it'll be closer to 50-50 with drones and workers. But we just engineer, as beekeepers, most of us engineer the colonies to have mostly workers so then we can get more honey and other things, because they're the ones who are doing that sort of work, whereas the drones only just mate with queens. So this is another pretty empty foundation frame. Yeah, nothing much on here.
So if you have so few drones, you have enough genetic diversity in your kept bees?
So the queen does not mate with any of the drones in her own hive. She'll go out on a mating flight after she hatches, and mate with anywhere from 20 to 40, I believe it is, drones up in the sky. Like they'll have meeting points like 150 feet up in the air.
From a different hive?
Yeah, she will not mate with drones from her own hive.
How do you know this? How do you know this? Fly away and mate with somebody.
There's some smart people who figured that out.
Science.
Yeah.
It's hard to fit a camera on a bee.
Yeah, so this is mostly just brood and wet brood. So more baby bees and some pollen on the side that I'm looking at. You won't be able to see it too much, but you might be able to see the lighter and darker yellows of the pollen. But yeah. And I have not seen the queen yet. So she's either hiding from me or just, yeah, she's like hiding. I'll find her on the next 3 frames. So yeah, this comb is something that the bees will do a lot. So do you see how it kind of is going out instead of horizontal? So that's mostly because the bees don't actually like the plastic foundation. Like most of the time they hate drawing it horizontally. So they'll do that a lot, where they'll draw the comb like that, like vertically. So what we can do most of the time is we'll just scrape that off, and then we'll lather the frame in a lot of wax, and most of the time that solves the issue, but sometimes they're still resilient and don't want to go the way we want on the frame.
They don't stink?
They do, yeah. Yeah, they sting. The only bees that don't sting are drones. They have no stinger, and those are the male bees. So yeah, this frame is mostly just capped brood, so all the babies, and those will probably hatch out in a week. And I have not seen the queen yet.
Maybe they died.
No, I don't think. Oh, there she is. So she is right there in the middle with a red dot. She's a little bit longer.
In the lower part. Lower third. Lower. Right there.
Oh, right there. That's a big red dot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she's a lot longer than all the other workers, so she can get her abdomen down in the cell to put an egg in. And yeah.
Is that red dot natural?
No, it is not. So we put it on with it's like a paint marker, and the color changes depending on the year.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. Well, yeah, that concludes my bee demo. If you guys have any other questions, there's an observation hive in there, and I'll be over there in a second. And there are other beekeepers in there too.
Thank you.
Yeah.